Uh, hello students. So now again in today's lecture we are going to continue with the practical number 2A only. That is, in practical number 2A we are having total 4 questions, right? So 2 questions we have already done in last lecture. In today's lecture again we are going to continue with the same topic, that is quadratic equations. The practical number 2A3. So for this quadratic equation, as we all know that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, like that we were having equations, right? So that equation is nothing but the quadratic equation. So in this, as I told you, that is ax square plus bx plus c. So a, b, c, these are the 3 variables or 3 values on the basis of which the actual calculation will take place. So this is a reason why in this practical, that is quadratic equation, the interface which I have decided, that is 3 text boxes we are having, in which we will take a, b, c value. So definitely the 3 text box means first text box is text box 1, which will contain value of a variable. Then we are having text box 2, which will have value of b variable, and third one is text box 3, which will have value of c variable, and then one button. So once after entering the 3 values a, b, c value, we will click on answer button and then we will get the respective answer. So before starting with the actual logic, there are some things that you should know, that is logic which I have used in this program, and this is not I have used, it is actual or practical. This is the basic logic while calculating the quadratic equation or while solving the quadratic equation. In the logic, first we will calculate the value of d1 variable. In d1 variable, what we are calculating? B square minus 4ac. I hope you remember this formula, minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. This formula we used to perform or to calculate the quadratic equation, just to calculate the roots, right? So for the same, first we will take the value of a, b, c, that is in a respective text boxes. Then first thing which we will calculate, that is discriminant value, d1 equal to b square minus 4ac we will calculate. Then after calculating, this is clear, if we are getting d1 equal to 0, okay, then whatever roots we will get, they will be real and equal. Okay, so real and equal means the value of both the roots r1 and r2 will be same. And how that particular value will be calculated? Using this formula, minus b upon 2a. After doing this calculation, whatever value will be get, that value will be assigned to r1 and r2, that is minus b upon 2a. We have calculated d1 value. Suppose if the value of d1 variable is greater than 0, so greater than 0 means the roots which we will get are real roots only we will get, but they will be distinct. Means for calculation of r1 and r2, we are going to use different formula. Like in this case, just see, there is only plus and minus difference is there in r1. In r1, how we have calculated? Minus b plus square root of b square minus ac upon 2a. And while calculating r2 equal to minus b minus square root of. So while calculating r1 we have used plus, and while calculating r2 we have used minus, because actually in the formula it is plus minus only. So we will get the real number as a roots, but both the roots will be distinct. Definitely in calculating r1 we are using plus, and while calculating r2 we are using minus. And the square root of d1 we will write, because b square minus 4ac, that we have already calculated, that is nothing but the value of d1. Then one more logic is there, that is one more case can be there, that is the d1 value is less than 0. So if this is the case, then whatever roots we will get, they are imaginary. So for the same, I have given the respective formula, that is r1 will be minus b upon 2ac, and r2 equal to, again within a square root, minus d1 upon 2a will be the calculation. Matlab means minus square root of minus of b square minus 4ac upon 2a, that will be the formula. So this I have added specially, that because you should know what is the calculation behind quadratic equation. if this is not the virtual classroom, then definitely I have taken 3 examples so that you will be able to analyze this, but now it is not actually possible, and this is the reason why I have written this logic, because according to me this is again sufficient for you, that first we have to take ABC value, then we will calculate discriminant value d1 equal to b square minus AC 4AC, and on the basis of value, if d1 is 0, what calculation, how you will get r1 r2, that is roots, that formula I have given for the respective cases, d equal to 0, d greater than 0, d less than 0. Okay, so now we will move to the actual coding part. So this is the coding. In previous slide, whatever logic I have given, on the basis of that we are going to write this. So just again create a user defined class. Now I have created Q as a class. In Q, how many variables now we have analyzed? In previous example, we will take 3 value a, b, c, right, from the user, and we are going to calculate roots. Definitely 2 root we will get. It can be same, it can be distinct or imaginary. So 2 roots we are going to calculate. So r1 r2 variable. So this is the reason why in class Q I have declared total 5 variables, and d1 we are going to calculate, but that is within a function. So separately we will declare the d1 variable. Okay, so these are the basic variable a, b, c, which we will take as an input, and r1 r2, these are the output variables. In these variable actually our output is going to store. Then in Q class I have created function compute. Okay, in compute I have written the logic whatever I have explained in previous slide, that is int m variable I have declared. After that double d1, and then as I said we have calculated d1 equal to b square minus 4ac. So the same statement I have written, that is b into b minus 4 into a into c. We cannot write b square minus 4ac directly, we have to write the calculation separately. After that, as I said, there were 3 conditions. So first condition is if d1 equal to 0, then what calculation we want to do, that is r1, both the roots will be same. So r1 equal to r2 equal to minus b divided by 2 into a, that is minus b upon 2a. This formula I have written, right? So the same formula I have written in programming language, and then we will return the value of d1. Okay, we will return the value of d1, just remember this. Next is else if d1 is greater than 0, then what calculation? We are going to get the roots which are real but distinct. So that plus and minus thing which I have explained, that is minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So same calculation I have written, r1 equal to minus b plus, for to calculate square root we are having sqrt function, which is part of math class. This class we have already learned, math, date, time span, these 3 class, one class, and the structures we have learned. So sqrt is a function of maths class. This is the reason why we have written math.sqrt into round bracket d1, that is minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, so 2 into a. So this is again here also we have to return d1. Next last condition, that is d less than equal to 0, we don't need to read, because if these 2 conditions are false, definitely that is the only case which will occur. So in that what we did, that is r1 equal to minus b upon 2a, and r2 equal to square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So square root of minus d1, okay, divided by 2a, and again return the value. So this previous slide on which I have written some formulas, that formula we have actually implemented. With the help of that formula we are actually calculating the value of r1 and r2. So that concept is clear to you all, then it will be very easy, because now this class is very important. Now in default class we are just going to call the functions. Okay, we are just going to display the values depending upon the value of d1. The main logic, main calculation part is present in class Q only. So the next, that is nothing but the default class, partial class default. In that what you are going to create, first we have to create the object of class Q. So within page load you can create the object. After that, in the interface, after 3 text boxes, one button was there, right? So just double click on the button so that the button 1 underscore click event will appear. Okay, and in that particular click event, first step, that is in previous program, that is in class Q, we have just written the logic. We have not taken the value of A, B, C from the user. We are calculating them, but we have not written. So that value we have to initialize. So in button 1 underscore click, first we will initialize the value of A, B, C variable. As we all know that we are having three text boxes. So text box 1 dot text value we have to store inside A variable. So this is the reason why what I have written obj dot a equal to convert dot to int32. In place of that, you can make use of int32 dot parse also into round bracket text box 1 dot text. Similarly for B, it's the same sentence, but the text box 2 we have used. Then in case of C, text box 3 you have to use. Okay. Then in compute function, every time we have not written the value of R1 and R2. Just remember, every time we have written D1 only. Okay, so this is the reason why directly or by default, if you are calling the compute function, it will not give you the answer, direct answer. Okay, so this is the reason why I have used one variable D in which we are storing the value which is written by the compute function. So for the same, I have written statement as double D equal to obj dot compute. Okay, so every time, as I told you, that we have written the value of D1. So now that D1 value is stored in D variable in our class, right? Current class. So in if and else condition which we are going to perform, we are making use of the same. That is, if D1 equal to 0, if the D equal to 0, then we are going to get the roots which are real and equal. So the first response dot write, I have written roots are real and equal, and after that in second response dot write, I have written first root and second root equal to obj dot r1 plus there is a br. We have display only r1 because the message I have displayed first and second root, because roots are equal, so no need to display r1 r2 separately. Value of both will be same only, so display either r1 or r2. Okay, after that else if d is greater than 0 means the roots are real and distinct. In this case we have to display both the roots r1 r2 separately. So for to do the same, I have written response dot write first root plus obj dot r1 I have displayed, and second root plus obj r2. And there is one more thing, that is while writing response dot write, br tag is used. So if you are making use of response dot write statement, then you can have HTML tags inside it. So what br tag does, it simply display the, or it will simply take our cursor to the new line, right? So this, because of this, each and every roots will be, or the statements whatever we have used, that will get display separate on the separate line. So this much we have did, that is d greater than 0. So now else part is remaining, that is imaginary root. So for the same we did the continuation. So I hope before moving to the next slide, this is clear to you what we have did. In previous slide in class Q, we have written actual calculation, okay, according to the value of discriminant. In this current class, that is default class, what we are doing, we have created object, then we have taken the value of ABC, then we called compute function. Compute function will return D1 value, discriminant value. So on the basis of that value, we are displaying the R1, R2 values. So again next part, that is D1 equal to 0 and D greater than 0 we did. Now D less than 0. For the same we are having code. So in else part, what we will write, in response dot write, roots are imaginary. First root obj dot r1 and the second root is obj dot r2. So that I have displayed. So just see the output. For all three conditions I have displayed the output. Roots are imaginary. In that case I have provided the value of 248. These are the values 248 ABC value, because of which the first root and the second root is calculated. and accordingly the other roots are also there. So I hope this is clear to you. It is very easy program, that is quadratic equations. But the slide on which I have display the written image, right, that is very important. That logic you should know. Now we are moving to the last practical, or practical number 2A. We are still having so many practicals, but now we are currently on practical number 2A, fourth question, that is temperature conversion. Basically in this practical I did only two conversions of temperature. First one is Celsius to Fahrenheit, and the second conversion is Fahrenheit to Celsius. So for the same you should know the formulas. Okay, for this practical the interface I have decided, that is I have taken two text boxes from the toolbox and one button, and there is one label. So total 4 controls are there, two text boxes, one button and one label. Just see the ASPX code, then you will have the clear idea. Okay, the first text button I will enter C. We are going to take the value as C and F. Okay, so if user is entering C, means user wants to perform Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion, and if user is entering F in first text box, means user wants to perform Fahrenheit to Celsius calculation. Okay, so if we are entering C in text box number 1, then in text box number 2 whatever value we are entering, that is nothing but the Celsius value. So now just see the screen. C and 37 means we have entered 37 degrees Celsius. This is our temperature, and now we want to convert this Celsius temperature into Fahrenheit. Similarly, if you are having F, then whatever value you will enter inside text box number 2, that will be value of Fahrenheit, which you want to convert into Celsius. So this is first your interface. You should know the interface first, then we will move to the next slide. I hope this is clear to you. So this is our actual programming part. You should know the formula. This actually I forgot to add in this slide, but you can get it from the internet. That is what is the calculation of Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius, and we already did this in first year in C programming. We were having this question, that is conversion of Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius. So what logic I have written, I have created one class A. So now we need only two variables, one is Celsius, second one is Fahrenheit. So instead of writing this big name, I have just written Fahrenheit. Okay, in class A's constructor I have initialized the value of both the variables to 0. Okay, then there are total two functions, because we want to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius. So for to do this thing, we are having two functions. First function, convert to Fahrenheit. So how we will convert? What is the formula for converting Fahrenheit? Equal to Celsius into 9, means Celsius into 9 divided by 5. This will be present in 1 square root plus 32.0f. Okay, means 32 degree we will add, 32 we will add the value. As this there is a division, this is the reason why we have definitely we are going to, we may get the answer in decimal, and this is the reason why the variables which I have declared, Celsius and Fahrenheit, they are float variable, because we are going to perform division. So if there is a division, there are chances of having decimal answer. So this is the reason why float I have declared. So this is a formula, that is within 1 square bracket Celsius into 9 divided by 5 plus 32. Okay, so this is the calculation. And if you want to convert to Celsius, this is Fahrenheit conversion we did. If you want to convert the Fahrenheit value into Celsius, then again we have to do the same thing, that is Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5.0f. Okay, and there is some formula also which is not there, that is 5 divided by 9, it will be there. Okay, in PDF I will add these formulas, but the now for current reference, Celsius equal to Fahrenheit minus 32. Fahrenheit we have calculated. Okay, sorry, Fahrenheit minus 32 means the you will enter the value of Fahrenheit, from which we will subtract 32 into 5 by 9. In previous, that is Celsius to Fahrenheit 9 by 5 is used. So here we will use 5 by 9. Okay, so this is your program. So now this is class A only, in which we have written the actual calculation. Now we want to call the respective functions on the click of button, temperature conversion. So for the same we are having the next slide. So in the next slide we are having default class. On page load we will create the object of a class A. After that object is C. Then on button 1 underscore click, as I explained you previously, in first text box we will take the character. If we are entering C as a character, then we have to perform Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. And other than that, if you are entering anything, actually you should enter F only. But other than C, if you are entering any character, then it will calculate Fahrenheit only. Means Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion will be there. Okay. So in this example, that first text box value we have to take, because that is our choice variable, which we will compare or check whether it is C or not, and accordingly we have to call the respective function, convert to Fahrenheit or convert to Celsius. So in button 1 underscore click, I have declared one variable char ch equal to convert dot to char into round bracket text box 1 dot text. This code means by writing this code we will take the character which we have entered in text box 1. Okay. Next step, if ch equal to C, means we want to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So for the same, what first we have to enter the one, we have to take the Celsius value, which we will enter inside text box 2. So in this code there is something missing. Just make the changes. C dot Celsius equal to float dot parse. Now we have seen in 32 dot parse. What it converts? It converts string into integer. Similarly, if you want to convert string into float, then you can make use of this function float dot parse into round bracket. Only text box dot text is written. It should be text box 2 dot text. So just make these changes. Text box 2 dot text it should be. And then now as we are writing the code in ch equal to C, means we want to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. So we will call convert to Fahrenheit function. So C dot convert to Fahrenheit, and the result we are going to display. Now in previous program we have used response dot write, because of which the statements will be displayed on the browser. Okay, but now in this example we are going to use the label which we have taken from the toolbox. On the label we want the result. So for the same we will write label 1 dot text. We want to change the text value. By default the label 1 will be written on label 1. So in place of that, what we want to display, that message is within double quote Celsius to Fahrenheit plus C dot Fahrenheit we have displayed. Okay, so Celsius to Fahrenheit, and whatever the Fahrenheit value that will get displayed, just see the output which is present on the current window. Else part, what we will do, we will store the value which we have taken from the text box 2 inside Fahrenheit variable, because if the ch is not C, means text box 1 value is not C, then we have to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? So for the same we will store we will take the value of text box 2 dot text and store that value into C dot Fahrenheit variable. Okay, and then we will call convert to Celsius function, and then we want to display the result on label. So we will write label 1 dot text equal to within double quote Fahrenheit to Celsius plus C dot Celsius. So whatever message you want to display, that you will write within double quotes, plus if you want to display the variable, if that particular variable is a part of current class, then we can directly call the variable. If not, like in our case, then object of the class in which that particular variable is declared dot the name of the variable. So just remember this. So it's not compulsory that we have to always display the result by using response dot write. If you want, you can make use of label also. Okay, and how we will change the value of label, by using text property of label. Okay, and then the message whatever you want. Okay, variable we never write within double quotes. If you want a text or specific message to be displayed on the label, then we will write that particular message within double quotes plus the variable name directly we will write. We never use quotes for integer float. Only for string value we should use double quotes. So I hope this is clear to you. So now we are done with practical number 2a. First question which we have seen, that is factorial. Second was what? Type conversion. And third one which we have seen, that is I am actually only forget. So there are total four questions. Quadratic equation we have seen, that is temperature conversion we have seen, and money conversion was there. That is the second question. So these are the four questions which are very very important from practical number 2. We will meet in next lecture.